The good old Aztecs, ancient Mexico's bloodiest, most warlike, and most famous ancient culture. While they're more popularly known for sacrificing thousands of people a day, cutting their hearts out with obsidian blades, filleting their skin off, wearing it, and dancing around in the town square, a lot of things that really disturbed the conquistadors, the Aztecs actually had a much more beautiful and intriguing side as well that probably most people have never even heard of. The part of the conquistador account of the Aztec capital that you usually don't hear is that the city was so stunning, beautiful, evocative, and innovative that Spanish soldiers even asked Cortez if what they'd seen was actually real or if this had all just been some kind of dream or a mirage. Tenochtitlan may have been the most sophisticated urban design of a city they'd ever seen. Tenochtitlan floated on top of Lake Texcoco. The city's street grids and layouts were so meticulously planned that they were precisely interlocked with the celestial events of the day and night sky. The roads consisted of wide cobblestone streets where thousands of citizens could walk back and forth from their homes to the markets, gardens to hear poetry, zoos to see all of Mesoamerica's most exotic birds and other wildlife, even an archaeological museum in a sense where the Aztecs had pulled artifacts from even more ancient cultures all the way into the Mexican Valley, into Lake Texcoco, and into the center of the city of Tenochtitlan. And especially impressive was the city's main plaza where all the festivities were held. On the outer section of the city where houses floated on the water, there were canals between blocks where people would hop on a small boat and paddle through town. So we can imagine a stunning Mesoamerican Venice of sorts. It would have been completely unlike anything the Spaniards had ever seen before. And as grisly as some of the Aztec scenes must have been, they were actually obsessed with cleanliness. They bathed daily and regularly used soap made from copal resin and agave roots. Even their herbal medicine was sophisticated with over 1,200 different plants from around Mesoamerica that were cataloged by Aztec doctors, listing each plant's use and recipes for mixing the plants together for specific treatments. Now, the reason for the Aztecs' incredible amount of sophistication and progress just over their roughly 130 to 150 year reign is because they were standing upon the shoulders of giants. When the Aztecs migrated into Mesoamerica from their semi-mythical homeland of Aztlan, which may very well have been somewhere within the continental United States, perhaps New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, the Mesoamerican world had already been rolling along for some 3,000 years. In fact, the Olmec heads had been erected about 3,000 years earlier, and the Olmec civilization had already risen and fallen into obscurity. And it's very possible that the Aztecs never even knew who the Olmecs were or that the Olmecs had even existed. Furthermore, the great ancient city of Teotihuacan, with its Great Pyramid of the Sun, the Moon, the Temple of Quetzalcoatl, the very famous ancient Mexican city that we've all at least seen photos of, had already been abandoned for nearly 1,000 years by the time the Aztecs discovered it. The Aztecs absorbed the Mayan calendar system. They adapted to the 260-day sacred Mesoamerican calendar based on the human gestation period. They learned how to farm maize and wage war in the Mesoamerican way, with their own flair, of course. And they learned how to quarry, transport, cut, and lift megalithic stones just as the Olmecs, Maya, Zapotecs, Teotihuacanos, and Toltecs had done before them. And in today's lesson, I'm going to show you and break down some of the largest, most megalithic Aztec monuments ever discovered. Very well, at least most of them, you have probably never seen or heard of before. And my hope is that at the end of this lesson, you'll have a new appreciation for the Aztec world and what they were truly capable of, and you'll be able to see that they're not just this grisly, vicious, warlike, sacrificial culture that they have been painted as for the last 500 years. That their culture was much deeper, much more nuanced, and much more sophisticated than you may have previously imagined.